Hi, everyone. Welcome to One Nation. I'm Brian Kilmeade. Thanks for dating early or dating late. Tonight on the show, you're going to love it. Governor Ron DeSantis is going to be here. He's got two initiatives on the ballot he wants you to vote against. He'll tell you about it. Tyrone Muhamad, he's a convicted felon starting anew and wants others to know how bad the new gang violence is with gangs from the outside. He'll explain. Jorge Masvidal, one of the greatest fighters in the world. Not only is he talking about a comeback, he's talking about his own biography and why along the way he wants to put Trump back in the White House. But first things first. Welcome back. Gang violence has been a challenge in America, but now made exponentially worse with the influx of migrant gangs bleeding across our border. None worse than, I don't know, Tren de Aragua. Yes, from Venezuela. In some cases, taking over cities across the country, with DHS revealing at least 600 gang members active here. Likely that number is low. People in Aurora, Colorado know too well. Their city was invaded in record numbers, despite denials from Democrats and ABC anchors. And it turns out the city knew a year ago the violent gang planned to set up headquarters in Denver. Sanctuary city status is the big attraction, the big magnet. Meanwhile, in Chicago, local gangs are clashing with Tren de Aragua, bringing tensions to an all-time high. Yes, American gangs against Venezuelan gangs. Do you believe this? Our next guest is a former gang member who now runs a violent prevention program and warns the city may go up in flames, featuring an all-out turf war. Tyrone Muhamad is the founder and CEO of Ex-Cons for Community and Social Change. Tyrone, thanks so much for your time. I know you spent 20 years in prison. You want to make sure no one else does. First, tell me how bad it is in these gang-infested areas.
So thank you for having me and giving us the opportunity just to talk about the violence, and we want the whole country to understand that violence anywhere is violence everywhere. And so when you're dealing with this, the TDA gangs and other gang fashion that enter into our country from those prisons and from Venezuelan and other locations, they integrate with gangs that's currently here. And what's happening is because they know the culture, they know the language, they tend to integrate into gangs and groups that's already here, like the Latin Kings and the Latin folks. It's easier to hide amongst those groups because they're already integrated in our society. But this is nothing new. It's happening all over the country. So
we have these hotels, oftentimes like the Roosevelt Hotel, really nice in New York City. You have them too. We got 60, 70,000 here. I hear that the gang culture inside these hotels are harassing the families, the teenagers, the 11-year-olds, trying to get them involved in gangs. What's the reality inside these migrant institutions?
So that's a natural transition. Even like in our communities, when we grow up, all we see is disinvestment, and all we see and learn from are the negative activity that often permeates our community. So and it's no different in the case of those hotels and those migrant compounds. Become just institutions for building a network of their own street elements. That now, I've often said that once these individuals who are illegally in our country, illegally in our communities, and are integrating our already disinvested communities of black communities and brown communities. These individuals will learn the culture, get their hands on guns, and then figure it out, and then they'll start setting up their encampments all over the city.
Tyrone, do you feel like I feel, and many people watching us, that this is another reason to crack down on the border, that our country has totally let us down by doing this?
The fact that our country would allow the terroristic effect of illegals to enter our cities when we're already under extreme, especially in Chicago, we're already under the terroristic effect of violence and disinvestment for over 60 years. The sad part is, they want to talk about Trump, a national election, but all politics is local. And for as long as I can remember, the state of Illinois and Chicago has always been a Democratic-led city. So the violence and the issues of disinvestment, poverty are theirs to handle, is the Democratic Party to handle. And you can't blame Mr. Trump for that.
Right. And you're supporting Trump? You think that Trump's the best ticket to suppress this violence, or at least address it?
Trump is not only the best ticket, Trump represents an affront to all the systems that have pushed poverty, disinvestment, and any gender issues, and any of these, just the whole birthing issues and what we're dealing with the abortion issues. I'm saying to you that Trump, who under the Clinton 94 crime bill, black men and women and brown men were mass incarcerated under the Clinton 94 crime bill. Trump First Step Act has been responsible for releasing thousands of men back into the communities of home, and these men and women are active, involved in reducing violence, creating jobs and opportunities, such as myself. We've been able to put over 400 ex-felons to work in the last 2 years. And we've been responsible for reducing thousands of shootings. That should be highlighted. Trump needs to do more in highlighting this is what happened when we take a chance on America.
Tyrone, you were convicted. You're supposed to serve 40. You got 20. You did 20 years, and you came back, and you just want to make the country better and have spread that message of redemption. It's awesome. I hope the president, if President Trump wins, I hope he calls you first. Tyrone Muhamad, thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. Meanwhile, straight ahead on this show, The View, co-host Whoopi Goldberg is not loving Trump's McDonald's visit. We'll tell you why in the media moments that matter. Next.
Tell me there's 2 things that you don't